Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a privilege once again to rise and debate Bill 7 in the third reading in this House. And again, there are some small details that you know, the 189 recommendations that have come forward that are good, and it's to see them coming forward. But again, I have to comment that we're missing the big scope of democratic reform, and the Election Statute Amendment Act is falling short. But it's been spoken at length by many members, and I just need to bring it up again briefly. You know, fixed election dates are so critical in taking that level of what we want to call election gerrymandering out. And the honourable member from Fort McMurray certainly addressed that in why would we want the Premier to be in a position where, in order to maintain his power and authority, has the ability to say, step in line or I'm going to call an election. It's just wrong to be able to use something like that in the Alberta electorate in order to maintain power and authority and control over the people. Again, many people have discussed about the importance of banning government ads. There's the necessity, again, during emergency announcements, job applications. There's a few legitimate areas, but there's no question that the government in the past has had a bad record of being able to be promoting their policies by saying this is a wonderful thing for Albertans and promoting that, and it's just not right. It needs to be banned during an election. Another area that I believe for some reason I've missed off on the list, but the donations for new parties. There's been nothing made to accommodate for new parties to be able to get up and running, and it's very difficult and a challenge to do that, but to be able to put money into trust, and in fact that once this party's up and running, people can get those political donations that allow grassroots people to be part of that. And again, why are we not allowing, you know, for those people who want to start a new party, a method and a way of doing that? You know, some of the democratic deficits that we've been looking at have been mentioned many times tonight, but what's happened on the Public Accounts Committee, again, it's just so backwards to think that a government member, the co-chair, has to sign off before a letter or a request can be put forward there. You know, setting that election date, again, like I say, whether it's the third Monday in March, the third Monday in October or something, it gives people the ability to plan and to set forward and to want to be able to work on those. And again, you know, I've just got to make a comment again that the manipulation that's going on, it seems like, in wanting to give ourselves, well, speaking as a government person, but let's make sure that we're in our best position to go into this. Let's be able to call it on a date, and at this point, let's make sure that we change the boundaries. And again, I personally have been very disappointed in the attempt of the boundaries redistribution, and even what's gone forward on the first one, in that the number one consideration in my mind, of course, we're looking at population, representation by population, but you need to look at it geographically. And to want to make leaps across rivers, reservoirs, or major roadways, you know, such as McLeod Trail, and to say, oh, we'll link this one community over across, when the problems in that community really have no relationship. And I'm just so disappointed to see the Deputy Government Leader put forward his 207-page report and say, you know, this is what we think needs to be adjusted. And again, you look at it, and there's just no question that the gerrymandering that's going on. You look at that, you can analyze, go look at the poll results, and realize that this is what's going on. But you know, just to look at my own riding of Calgary-Glenmore, you know, why wouldn't you adapt Kingsland in? That's a part of the community. Southwood, why would you annex that out and put it over across McLeod Trail into Acadia, or what we're going to call the new riding? We don't know, but it just doesn't make a sense for the areas that you're representing to be pulling a little area out, you know, like Chestermere, getting thrown all the way over into Calgary foothills. And there's just so much of that people look at that, and the blogs are saying that, you know, this is unbelievable, it's so blatant, why are they doing that? And again, the democratic accountability on what this government's been doing in the last year and a half is just astounding to many people that I talk to. Bill 50, empowering the minister to make a declaration to say that, you know what, we need power lines, so therefore I'm going to declare it and they're going to be made. There's no needs tested anymore. It's just shocking. The centralized healthcare decisions, you know, we're going to say from Edmonton what's going on, and we'll say what's going to be in Calgary, what's going to be in Lethbridge, what's going to be in Fort McMurray or Grand Prairie or Red Deer. Again, that centralized decision. And such things as the royalty framework fiasco.
If you have conversations private, please go to outside the chamber. Thank you, Honourable Member. Continue on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But I think that as we break for the summer, though, that there's been a great democratic deficit. Bill 7 is not addressing it. The other bills are there, but I guess perhaps the most important thing to me is some of these bills should remain over the summer so that people can comment on them. We shouldn't be closing them off and passing Bill 7. There's a lot missing there, but again, it's just kind of been pushed through, and we have to accept that in our current system, the way it's set up. But I believe that the people have been speaking to the MLAs, and they're not listening. So it's going to be interesting as we go through the summer. And I guess, like I say, what interests me the most was the comments from the member from Fort McMurray and his 13 years in government, and the things that go on inside caucus. It's just quite amazing to think that the Premier is going to be left in a position that he can call an election at any time. That this fall he can come forward and say, you know what, our health care was like our new royalty framework. It was a failure. We've got a new idea. Here's what we're going to present. And by the way, people, we want your mandate to do it, so we're going to call an election. And that's what I see come this fall, is either they're going to be bringing forward a big bill and then saying we need to go to the people because of the failure of this government, and it's sad that we've lost the Alberta advantage, that we've digressed to this point to where our number one bill was Bill 1, that let's be competitive, when we used to be, and to pass all this legislation saying now we're going to be competitive. We're not going to be. We're not based on the principles of sound economics. We're not based on the principles of a free market to let the entrepreneurs who have good ideas on how to develop energy to go out and to do that. Instead, we're going to pick $300 million for this type of energy, or we're going to put $2 billion into CO2. And so we're lacking in so many areas, and again, Bill 7 is just one more example of that lacking, but I get a strong feeling it's going to pass here in about the next 30 seconds, and so I'll sit down and see how the vote goes, but very disappointed in this bill.